a young woman. Dreams of independence. A husband and his family demanding control. And a brutal crime that has shaken India to its core. This is the story of Nikki Bhati, a 26-year-old woman allegedly burned alive by her husband amid a dowry dispute. It is a case that exposes the deadly intersection of patriarchy, control, and violence against women. Welcome to Case, Cause, and Criminology. The case. On a quiet evening in Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh, tragedy struck inside the home of Nikki Bhati and her husband, Vipin Bhati. According to reports, Nikki was doused in petrol and set on fire. The blaze was so intense that neighbors rushed to the scene. But instead of rushing her to safety, viral videos show Nikki engulfed in flames, a haunting sight that has since spread across social media. Within hours, police arrested her husband Vipin, along with several of his family members. The accusation, murder, tied to demands for dowry and objections to Nikki's growing independence. Here's what we know about Nikki. She was just 26 years old. She co-ran a beauty parlor with her sister. She had also begun posting Instagram reels, short videos that gained local attention. But these steps toward independence, professional success, social media visibility, and economic empowerment became sources of tension inside her marriage. Reports suggest that Vipin and his family opposed Nikki's online presence and pressured her about dowry-related expectations. What began as disagreements spiraled into violent conflict. And on that August evening, it ended in tragedy. Nikki was killed. Vipin and his family were taken into custody. So why did this happen? At the individual level, there is male insecurity and control. Nikki's decision to run a business and post online clashed with the rigid expectations of her husband and his family. For them, independence equated to defiance. At the family level, there is the persistent specter of dowry culture. Despite being illegal in India, dowry demands continue to fuel abuse, harassment, and violence. Women are often targeted if they do not bring enough wealth into the marriage, or if their in-laws perceive that they are not sufficiently submissive. At the societal level, this crime reflects the collision of modern aspirations with traditional structures. Nikki wanted to build her identity, through work, through digital expression. But in a patriarchal household, her autonomy became unacceptable. When individual rage, family pressure, and cultural structures combine, the result can be catastrophic. Let's break this case down through criminological frameworks. Victimology. Nikki was not just a random target. She was chosen precisely because she was closest to the offenders, a wife expected to conform to rigid roles. This is a pattern of intimate partner violence where women are attacked not by strangers, but by those who claim to love them. Social learning theory. Violence like this doesn't appear out of nowhere. In many patriarchal communities, men observe and inherit patterns of dominance, control, and aggression toward women. Children grow up watching mothers abused or hearing that women must be controlled. Over time, this becomes normalized behavior. Feminist criminology. This case also highlights structural oppression. Feminist criminologists argue that women's victimization cannot be separated from systemic gender inequality. Nikki's murder was not just an act of personal rage. It was the outcome of centuries-old systems where women's value is measured in wealth, obedience, and silence. Labeling and public reaction. What makes this case different is the role of social media. The horrifying video of Nikki burning alive went viral. Instead of silence, the nation is watching, outraged. In a way, this digital evidence prevents the usual cycle of denial. It forces society to confront the brutality of dowry violence in real time. The murder of Nikki Bhati is more than a domestic tragedy. It is a mirror held up to society. It shows us how old traditions collide with modern aspirations, how women who dare to be independent are punished, and how cultural systems of dowry and patriarchy still claim lives, even in 2025. The case forces us to ask how many more Nickis must die before systemic change arrives? And what role do we play, as citizens, as communities, as nations, in dismantling the structures that allow this violence to persist? This was Case, Cause, and Criminology. If you want to go beyond headlines and explore not just crime, but why crime happens, subscribe for more.